You did everything right. You worked, you provided, you stayed loyal, you built something real. And then one day, it was gone. The house, the savings, the retirement fund you spent decades building, the life you thought was yours. She didn't just leave. She took everything with her. And now you are standing at 50-something wondering how you rebuild from zero. When I've heard this story more times than I can count. And today, I am going to tell you something nobody else will. This is not the end of your story. This is the most important chapter you haven't written yet. Stay with me. Introduction: the reality nobody talks about. Let's start with the truth that most people are too uncomfortable to say out loud. Divorce after 50 is financially devastating for men, not because the law is fair, not because the system is balanced, but because men over 50 have spent decades building, and the division of that building rarely feels equal. The house you paid for. Gone or split, the retirement account you sacrificed for, divided the business you built from nothing, valued and taken from. The savings you protected through every economic storm, halved overnight. And beyond the money, there is something even more devastating that nobody talks about: the identity loss. For most men over 50, providing was their identity. Being the protector, the builder, the one who held everything together. That was who they were. And when she took everything, she didn't just take assets. She took the proof that your life meant something. That is the wound that financial recovery alone can't heal. Today we're going to address both. The financial recovery and the emotional rebuilding, because you can't truly have one without the other. Part 1, the financial recovery. Let's talk money first because it is the most urgent and practical. Here is the reality. Starting over financially at 50 is not starting over at 25. You don't have 40 years of compound growth ahead of you. You have 15 to 20 years of aggressive, intentional rebuilding, and that changes everything about the strategy. Step 1. Stop the bleeding immediately. Before you think about rebuilding, you need to stabilize. Cut every unnecessary expense. Downsize aggressively and without ego. The house you need now is not the house you had then. The lifestyle that made sense for 2 makes no sense for 1. This isn't failure. This is strategy. Every dollar you stop wasting is a dollar available for rebuilding. Step 2. Reframe your timeline. Most men make the mistake of grieving what they lost instead of maximizing what they have. At 55, if you invest aggressively and live below your means, you can still build significant wealth by 70 Social Security pension investments. Combined strategically, the financial picture looks very different from the panic of divorce day. Get a financial advisor who specializes in post-divorce recovery for men over 50. This is not optional, this is essential, because the decisions you make in the first 12 months after divorce determine your financial trajectory for the next 20 years. Step 3. Increase your income aggressively. At 50-something, you have something 25-year-olds don't. Decades of experience, skills and professional reputation. That has monetary value. Consulting, freelancing, part-time work in your field, a skill-based side business. The experience that feels ordinary to you is extraordinary to someone who needs it. Don't just cut expenses, expand income, both simultaneously. That is how men over 50 rebuild faster than anyone expects. Step 4. Protect what remains. Whatever you have left after the divorce settlement, protect it legally, strategically, and emotionally. Update your will, change beneficiaries. Separate every financial account. Consult a lawyer about asset protection strategies. Because the last thing you need after losing half of everything is to lose more through carelessness or emotional decision-making. Part 2. The emotional recovery. Now let's talk about what most financial advisors completely ignore and what is actually harder than the money. The emotional devastation of losing everything after 50 is unlike anything younger men experience, and here is why. At 25, you lose a relationship. You are sad, but you know you have time to rebuild. You know this isn't your whole story. At 55, you lose a relationship and a life you spent 3 decades building, and the darkest thought, the one most men are too ashamed to admit, is, was any of it real? Did it mean anything? Was I used? Did I waste my best years? That question is more devastating than any financial loss. Here is what I need you to understand. The answer is no. You were not wasted. Your decades of building were not meaningless. They happened, they were real, and they made you who you are. But you cannot access that truth through grief. You access it through rebuilding. The stages men over 50 go through after losing everything. Stage 1, shock and denial. This can't be happening. Not after everything I gave. Stage 2, rage. How could she do this after everything I sacrificed? Stage 3, bargaining. Maybe if I had done something differently, maybe if I try to fix it. Stage 4, depression. What is the point? I am too old to start over. Everything is gone. Stage 5, acceptance and rebuilding. This happened. It is real, and I am still here. So what do I build next? Most men get stuck between stages 2 and 4. They cycle through rage and depression without ever reaching acceptance. The key to breaking that cycle is this. Stop measuring your life by what you lost, and start measuring it by what you still have. Before I show you the exact steps for emotional rebuilding, the specific practices that men over 50 use to not just survive this but genuinely thrive, I need you to do something. If this is resonating, if you are recognizing your own experience in these words, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel exists to give men over 50 the honest, practical wisdom that nobody else provides. Every subscription helps this reach more men who are sitting alone right now feeling like their life is over, when it is actually just beginning again. Subscribe now, hit that like button, and let me show you how to rebuild. Part 3. The rebuilding framework here is what genuine recovery looks like for men over 50. Not just surviving, thriving. First, reclaim your identity beyond provision. For decades, your identity was built around what you provided. The house, the income, the security, and now that is gone or diminished. You need a new identity framework. Not provider, not husband, not the man who lost everything. Who are you beyond what you gave? What do you think, feel, believe, desire, create? What matters to you when nobody is watching? What would you do if you were answering to nobody but yourself? These questions feel uncomfortable at first. They feel selfish, but answering them honestly is the foundation of everything else. Second, rebuild your social architecture. Most men over 50 realize, after divorce, that their entire social life was built around the relationship, her friends, couple friends, social activities she organized. Now you need to build your own. This is uncomfortable. It feels like starting over socially at an age when most people assume friendships are fixed. But here is the reality. Men who rebuild their social architecture after 50, who find genuine male friendships, communities, activities, and connections, report higher life satisfaction than they had during the marriage. Because for the first time, every relationship in their life is genuinely theirs. Third, rediscover what you abandoned. Think back before the marriage, before the relationship. What did you love? What did you pursue? What were you passionate about before you started organizing your life around someone else? That thing, whatever it is still in you, and returning to it is one of the most powerful forms of emotional recovery available to men over 50. Hobbies abandoned. Travel never taken. Creative pursuits set aside. Skills never developed. Physical challenges never attempted. Now you have time. Use it to rediscover yourself. Fourth, redefine what winning looks like at this stage. Winning at 55 doesn't look like winning at 30. At 30, winning might have meant the big house, the perfect family, the impressive career trajectory. At 55, winning looks like peace in your daily life, financial stability and security, genuine friendships that aren't obligatory, health and physical vitality, purpose that gets you out of bed, and freedom to make your own choices. That is not a consolation prize. That is actually what most people spend their whole lives chasing and never find. You have the opportunity to build it now. Part 4. The unexpected truth here is something men who've been through this and come out the other side consistently report. Something that sounds impossible when you are in the middle of the devastation. Many of them say it was the best thing that ever happened to them, not because losing everything was good, not because the pain wasn't real. Not because the betrayal didn't hurt, but because losing everything forced them to find out who they actually were when they had nothing to hide behind. No house to define them. No relationship to validate them. No accumulated assets to measure their worth. Just themselves, raw, honest, and free for possibly the first time in decades. And in that space, that terrifying, uncomfortable, grief-filled space, they found something they didn't expect. Themselves, not the provider, not the husband, not the builder of someone else's dream. Themselves, and building from that foundation, a foundation of genuine self-knowledge. They built something better, not bigger necessarily, but better, more authentic, more peaceful, more genuinely theirs. That is what is available to you on the other side of this. So let me ask you something. Are you still in the devastation, still in the rage or the grief or the depression, still measuring your life by what she took? Or are you ready to start measuring your life by what you still have and what you are capable of building? Because here is the truth. She took things, she didn't take you. She took the house, not your capability to create a home. She took the savings, not your ability to earn and rebuild. She took the years, not the wisdom those years gave you. She took your former life, not your future one, and your future, at 50-something with decades of experience, skills, resilience, and hard-won wisdom. Your future is more powerful than you currently believe. Men have rebuilt empires after 50, started businesses after divorce that became their greatest achievements, found genuine love, not transactional, not performance-based, but real, after 55, created the most meaningful chapters of their lives after losing everything at 50, not because loss is good, but because loss, when survived and processed honestly, creates the kind of man who knows exactly what he values, because he has had everything else stripped away. That man is emerging in you right now, even if you can't feel it yet. Now here is what I need from you. Subscribe right now, because every week on this channel, I create content specifically for men over 40 and 50 navigating the real challenges of this stage of life. Divorce recovery, financial rebuilding, emotional mastery, relationships, solitude, purpose. This isn't a channel for young men chasing motivation. This is a channel for men with real experience, facing real challenges and seeking real wisdom. If that is you, subscribe now. Don't miss another video.